What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video, and we will talk about Khephren Thuram because various journalists and multiple sources are saying that Khephren Thuram has personally asked his club Nice to let him move because he wants to sign for Liverpool. Nice have accepted his wish and they are now going to listen to offers which are a little bit lower than his original £50 million valuation, because that's what Nice were hoping for. But Liverpool will start, of course, at a lower number to try to negotiate the transfer fee down. But the fact that Khephren Thuram wants to sign for Liverpool, and also the fact that personal terms have already been agreed between Liverpool and Khephren Thuram is very, very exciting. So if you enjoy these videos and if you are excited about this news, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Half of you guys who are watching my videos aren't subscribed, so make sure to subscribe and turn on red notifications so you never miss the latest updates about Liverpool's latest transfer deals. And Nice want around £50 million, but Liverpool are going to negotiate, according to Daniel Nielsen, a Danish journalist, and they will try to get a lower transfer fee. Nothing is done yet, the transfer fee is not agreed yet, but personal terms between Khephren Thuram and Liverpool have been agreed, and Liverpool are pushing really hard to sign Khephren Thuram because he's a powerhouse, brilliant midfielder, only 22 years old, but still backed with experience. So I think it would be a fantastic transfer, and if Liverpool could get him for around 35-40 million pounds, maybe plus a little bit of add-ons, I mean, we could agree a 35 million pound transfer fee with 10 million in bonuses and add-ons, and that would make it to 45 million. I think Nice would be reasonable to accept that, because Nice are not a big club in France, and they are not even a very rich club, which means that they probably need the money to keep freshening up their squad and to make more transfer deals in the summer. And also, what is very interesting is that Borussia Mönchengladbach sporting director has told the German news outlet Kicker that their attitude is well known towards Manu Kone. If there are sums involved that a club like Borussia Mönchengladbach has to think about, then we will do it. We will sell the player. Borussia Mönchengladbach, again, I said it in previous videos, they haven't qualified for European competition in 2 seasons ago. They are in mid-table in the Bundesliga last season and this season, so they need money to sign players, and they have to sell one of their biggest talents, big stars, for like 35-40 million. Again, that would be a reasonable transfer fee. So Liverpool are going to negotiate for these two players, and it is well publicized within Germany that Borussia Mönchengladbach have endured financial difficulties in recent times, having made a loss of 21 million pounds in the latest financial period, and they also made a financial loss of 51 million pounds in the last 3 years. So in the last 3 years, losing more than 50 million pounds in the financial budgets in the accounts is really concerning. Borussia Mönchengladbach have to sell their players if they want to break even and don't want to end up being bankrupt. And finishing 10th in the Bundesliga is really disappointing for them, because they badly needed European football to generate some additional revenue. And on Saturday, Jamie Carragher was speaking on Sky Sports about Liverpool's transfer plans, and he said they need another midfield player at least. I think Liverpool will end up getting another 2 midfield players after Alexis McAllister, and I think they will need a defender as well. Whether that's a centre-back or a full-back remains to be seen. There is a lot of talk whether Liverpool will keep the system that they finished with, or I think that's really interesting. But I think they will get another 3 players in, a defender and 2 midfield players, and I think that would be the bare minimum that Liverpool have to do in this transfer window if we want to get back into the top 4. But I want a little bit more. I'm greedy as a Liverpool fan. I want Liverpool to get back to challenging for the Premier League title, to try and win the League Cup or the FA Cup, and to try and conquer the Europa League as well. I think winning a trophy next season should be one of the main priorities for Liverpool. Of course, finishing in the top 4 has to be the other one, but challenging for the title, I want to see that. But if we sign Khephren Thuram, Manu, Kone, and we already signed Alexis McAllister. And if we sign a versatile centre-back who can maybe play right back, on paper that could be enough if all three midfield transfers will hit the ground running, and if they will be very helpful to Liverpool throughout the whole season, then I can see that happening, that Liverpool could be an outsider for the Premier League title. I think we could sustain the pressure on Manchester City a little bit longer than Arsenal, but that's absolutely, we have to start the Premier League season in very good form. Otherwise, if Man City pull away and build a big gap, you are not reeling them in, because they are just a winning machine under Pep Guardiola. Also, great news for Alexis Chamberlain, if you guys were interested where he will end up. Aston Villa is the club that they are negotiating with for a free transfer for Alexis Chamberlain. They already signed Yuri Tielemans on a free transfer, so Aston Villa are building a really good squad of players, because they finished in a European Conference League place, which West Ham ended up winning. So Aston Villa will be one of the favorites to win that competition, and I think if they build a bigger squad with loads of experienced players, I mean Tielemans and Alexis Chamberlain, they are very experienced, so they could have a really good go of winning the Conference League. And it's actually very good for football that West Ham can win a European trophy, because they are not spending hundreds of millions of pounds like Manchester City does every season, and yet here they are, a European trophy winner, West Ham United. So I wish Aston Villa all the best in the Premier League next season. Of course, not against Liverpool, but against every other club. I think they are a decent club now. Man City have the same number of Champions League wins as Aston Villa, so hopefully Aston Villa can win another European trophy and also do well in the Premier League. They play good football under Unai Emery, and they have a pretty decent fan base, good fan base. I consider them below the top 6, a pretty big club. I think Aston Villa, Everton, Newcastle United, these are the clubs that are sitting just below the likes of, the usual top 6 big clubs. And also, journalists agree that it was time for Liverpool to cut their losses with Naby Keïta. The general sense you get with Naby Keïta is that it's almost like cutting your losses. Liverpool can't rely on him to be fit, and they will swallow the pain of not getting a transfer fee. And Naby Keïta joins Werder Bremen, who got newly promoted to the Bundesliga last season, and then this season they stayed up pretty comfortably. They ended up finishing just below mid-table. The logic would have been to get a new contract signed with Naby Keïta and then to try to sell him, because he's still only 27 years old. But there is every chance you give him a new contract, then he's out for 6 months and no one wants to buy him. Then you are stuck with a player you can't get rid of. I think personally the moment to sell Naby Keïta was at the beginning of this season. So, because last season he had a brilliant season to his own standards. He was playing 60-70% of the Liverpool games, which is an outlier for him. And he contributed with scoring some really nice goals and getting some nice assists. And that's where his stock was still high, and he still had 1 year left on his contract. So that's where Liverpool should have sold him. But maybe Jurgen Klopp thought, let's give him another season. If he can stay fit and contribute massively, maybe he will get a contract extension. But again, he was injured for the majority of the season. So in the end, I think it's the wisest and smartest decision to let Naby Keïta go, even though we lose out on some money by not selling him. He's so injury prone that he wouldn't, even if he had 2 or 3 years left under his contract, he wouldn't have fetched a big transfer fee, maybe 10, 15, maximum 20 million. But at least we got rid of his wages. And good luck to him at Werder Bremen. But it shows that the level of Naby Keïta now, he will join a club whose main ambition will be just to stay in the Bundesliga. So that's the problem, that Naby Keïta is not at the level that he can play for a Champions League or Europa League team even. And some football analysts looked at a revealing comparison of Khephren Thuram and Manu Kone's performances. Khephren Thuram, who is on only £14,000 per week at Nice, stands among the top 6% of midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues over the past year for progressive carries. He also ranks in the top 9% for successful take-ons and top 25% for assist rate and top 26% for interceptions per 90 minutes. But Manu Kone's achievements are impressive in their own right. He's ranking in the top 23% for progressive carries, and listen to this, the top 4% for successful takedowns, top 25% for tackles, top 20% for blocks per 90 minutes. However, Khephren Thuram's attacking prowess might make him a more compelling choice to rejuvenate Liverpool's midfield. I'm not sure if Liverpool have to choose between signing the two of them, but Khephren Thuram brings a very good mix of tenacity, attacking flair, according to talent scout Jacek Kulig. His fantastic abilities, as praised by Nice coach Didier Degarde, are completed by his demonstrated leadership role. This could fill the leadership vacuum created by the departure of experienced players like James Milner. Manu Kone is undoubtedly an unpolished diamond, an unaccomplished talent. Thuram appears to be the better fit for Liverpool's ambitions right now. His immediate impact potential and dynamic style could catalyze Liverpool up the Premier League table in the coming season, but of course you don't know how each player will react to a new environment, new league, Jurgen Klopp's coaching, and of course a myriad of other variables. So you can only hope that these two players will keep growing and developing and they will end up world class. But the fact that Liverpool are looking for physical, very agile, very hardworking, energetic, dynamic midfielders is testament that Liverpool know their main problem was the midfield this season that just finished. So I'm really hoping that Liverpool can end up signing both Khephren Thuram and Manu Kone. And Liverpool's valuation since FSG took over went from 300 million to like 3 billion or something like that. And competitive performance at the top level is definitely in the owner's best interest, not just in Liverpool's best interest. And the head of commercial strategy at Octagon put it, football in some markets is still growing in popularity, such as China, India and the US, so it is probably a good time to be successful on the pitch. And I mean, the owners have to invest into the playing squad, and we have to get back into the Champions League, and we have to build a squad good enough to challenge for trophies and titles, because Jurgen Klopp will not be at Liverpool forever, and he is literally the best manager in the world, in my opinion. So Liverpool have to take this era with both hands, and that's my biggest worry, and that's why I was so upset that Jurgen Klopp wasn't backed properly in the transfer market when we were literally on top of the world. We were Premier League champions, we won the Champions League 1 year ago, we won 103 out of 105 points in 2 seasons in the Champions League, in the Premier League, sorry, in a run of like 2 seasons. And that was the time for Liverpool to act like a really big club and sign some really big players in the transfer market, because we could have attracted almost anyone at that point. Liverpool were literally the best team in Europe and the best team in the Premier League, and yet we sat on our hands, we didn't act, we didn't sign proper midfielders, and now we are looking at the past 3 seasons. 2 of them were failures. We finished 3rd like 2 seasons ago. The last season, yes, we almost won the quadruple, we won 2 cups. We finished 2nd in the Premier League by 1 point to the cheating Manchester City side, and also finished 2nd in the Champions League to Real Madrid's superhuman goalkeeper Courtois. But then this season we were a failure again. So 2 seasons out of the last 3, Liverpool have been disappointing, only collecting less than 70 points. And that's not good enough, and that shouldn't have ever happened. We are deep into the Jurgen Klopp era, and the Liverpool owners didn't back Jurgen Klopp properly, in my opinion. Hopefully they will spend some serious amount of money this season, this summer. Otherwise, the fans should ask them to sell the club, and they should protest in numbers, in the tens of thousands, because being just a top 4 club is not enough at Liverpool. You have to try and build a squad capable of winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League. That's what Liverpool should be aiming for every single season. But now, hopefully, with all the stadium expansion finished, hopefully Liverpool will be able to allocate more money towards transfers, and I want to see that starting from this summer. But yeah, let me know how do you see all of this that we talked about. And it looks like there are a lot of possibilities ahead, because the recent update is that Liverpool's valuation increased by 19% to £4.2 billion, according to the latest Forbes ranking. So now Liverpool rank as the 4th most valuable club worldwide. Only Barcelona, Manchester United and Real Madrid outrank Liverpool. FSG's management has certainly paid dividends, while with Liverpool's investment performance dwarfing the stock market's 10-year average of just over 10%. If Liverpool continues to navigate the unpredictable terrain of global football, hopefully the future is promising. But FSG have to start spending serious amounts of money and to spend more money than they were spending up until this point in the last 4 years. I think if we just imagine if we signed a really good promising midfielder each year after we won the Premier League, we wouldn't be sitting in this position outside of the Champions League. I'm convinced of that. But yeah, let me know what do you think about this in the comments below, and thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a lovely day. See you later. Goodbye.